What if treating a precancerous vulvar condition didn't require surgery?
According to a 2026 editorial published in Obstetrics and Gynecology by Dr. Teresa Boitano and Dr. Charles Leith,
the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, modern medicine is actively rethinking how HPV-related vulvar precancer should be treated.
And the alternative may surprise you.
Vulvar Intraepithelial Neoplasia, or VIN, is a precancerous condition of the vulva. According to the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, its incidence has steadily increased over the last few decades.
This rise in VIN cases highlights a critical public health concern.
Understanding VIN is crucial for early detection and effective intervention. Two main pathways exist for VIN development. These are categorized as HPV-associated VIN and HPV-independent VIN. Today, our focus is primarily on HPV-associated VIN. This form of VIN is directly driven by specific viral components.
Specifically, HPV-associated VIN involves viral oncoproteins E6 and E7.
These oncoproteins play a critical role in cellular dysfunction.
E6 and E7 are known to inactivate key tumor suppressor pathways. They target p53, a guardian of the genome, and ARB, the retinoblastoma protein. The inactivation of p53 leads to uncontrolled cell growth. Similarly, RB inactivation removes critical cell cycle checkpoints.
This disruption sets the stage for precancerous changes in vulvar tissue.
Understanding this molecular mechanism is vital for developing targeted therapies. For decades, surgical excision has been the undisputed standard of care for high-grade VIN. This conventional approach aimed at physically removing all affected tissue.
It was seen as the most direct and effective method to prevent progression to invasive cancer.
However, the efficacy of surgery came with significant patient costs.
Multiple studies have begun to highlight the considerable drawbacks of this approach. A comprehensive review by Aerts and colleagues in the Journal of Sexual Medicine provided significant insights.
Their findings revealed that vulvar surgery may lead to a range of severe complications.
These complications often include chronic pain, a debilitating symptom for many patients.
Furthermore, surgical procedures can result in significant disfigurement of the vulvar area.
Such changes profoundly impact a patient's body image and self-esteem.
Critically, vulvar surgery has been linked to long-term sexual dysfunction.
These patient experiences underscore the need for less invasive, yet equally effective, treatment alternatives.
A paradigm shift began with the understanding that HPV-associated VIN is an immune-driven disease.
This recognition opened new avenues for therapeutic exploration.
Researchers started to investigate the potential of topical immunotherapy. The idea was to harness the body's own defenses against the precancerous cells. A landmark study published in the New England Journal of Medicine revolutionized this field. Van Setters and colleagues presented compelling evidence in their seminal work.
They demonstrated that topical imiquimod could induce regression of high-grade VIN.
Imiquimod works by activating local immune surveillance within the affected tissue. It stimulates the immune system to recognize and attack HPV-infected cells. This represents a fundamentally different approach compared to surgical removal.
Instead of cutting out the problem, imiquimod empowers the body's natural healing process.
It helps the immune system to effectively clear HPV-infected cells.
This immune-modulating action provides a tissue-sparing treatment option. It offers hope for preserving vulvar anatomy and function.
The success of imiquimod highlighted the power of immunological interventions in gynecology.
The crucial question then arose: how does this novel imiquimod approach compare directly to surgery?
To answer this, rigorous comparative studies were essential.
A significant contribution came from a 25-year cohort study by Reed and colleagues.
Published in Obstetrics and Gynecology in 2025, this study provided vital data.
It directly compared recurrence rates between surgical excision and topical imiquimod.
The study enrolled a large cohort of patients with high-grade VIN. Patients were carefully followed over an extended period. After a median follow-up period of 3 years, the results were striking. Recurrence-free survival for patients treated with imiquimod was 60%. For those who underwent surgical intervention, recurrence-free survival was 65%. Crucially, this observed difference of 5 percentage points was not statistically significant. This finding suggested comparable efficacy between the two treatment modalities. It provided strong evidence that imiquimod could be as effective as surgery in preventing recurrence.
These results have profound implications for clinical practice.
They challenge long-held beliefs about the necessity of surgery for all VIN cases. So, what are the clinical implications of these revolutionary findings? According to Boitano and Leith in their 2026 ACOG editorial, imiquimod holds significant promise. It represents a tissue-sparing and biologically sound treatment option.
This is particularly for carefully selected patients with HPV-associated VIN.
However, it is crucial to emphasize that not all cases are suitable for imiquimod. Surgical excision remains mandatory when invasive disease cannot be definitively excluded.
Careful diagnostic evaluation is paramount to rule out any malignancy.
Ultimately, treatment decisions must be highly individualized. They should be guided by specific lesion characteristics, the patient's oncologic risk profile, and critical